Welcome to our sessions on the productivity paradigm. Your friend, Emeritus Professor Stephen Adei. My topic for today is PP, or productivity paradigm, the pathway to prosperity for all. Prosperity for all. I've seen in our part of the world many people preaching prosperity, but not prosperity for all. In some of the churches, they come and tell you prosperity gospel. You know, if you are faithful, you believe in God, you'll be rich. And making many people who, for other circumstances, are not able to make it, feel that they are not good Christians. Prosperity gospel has nothing to do with my productivity paradigm, which is expanding the cake and everybody getting a better share if there is equity. Even some will say, sow the seed. If I sow the seed in the church, it means that that's where I sow it. After some time, I must come and plug my fruits from there. Even the biblical tithe, it says, bring the tithe and God will bless you. But they don't tell you how God is going to bless you. In the same Malachi 3, it says that he will bless the work of your hand. Your grain will not come out lean, and the weevils and the rodents will not destroy them. And your cattle and goats and all will multiply. You have to work, produce, and God says that if you are faithful to him in tithing or any form of giving, he will bless you 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold. I wish that would be true, because I've experienced 30, 60, 100-fold multiplication as I walk with God. So we must be very careful, even in trying to preach what is in the Bible. We oftentimes are not preaching prosperity for all, but prosperity for those who receive this, what is sown, the seed, and the tithe. At the national level, over and over again, politicians are saying, vote for me and everything will be kosher. Most Ghanaians know that oftentimes it is vote for me. When I get there, I'm taking for me, myself, and I. That is why corruption is so rampant. They think that the few cedis they give to some of the foot soldiers to be voted is the end. Their prosperity is not prosperity for all. They are elected to expand the national cake, the gross domestic product, create jobs so that everybody will win. Other than that, robbing Peter to pay Paul, or stealing, as Tuguba would say, create, loot, and share, is not prosperity for all. I would say that they don't create, they find, loot, and share, and at the end of it, we are worse off and we get haircut. Thank God we didn't get head cut. What prosperity gospel is about is saying is that there's a paradigm whereby by improving the policy climate, by encouraging investment, savings and investment, and high level of productivity, everybody becomes better off. I was once a director of an organization which was struggling. And I told the people that you can't produce. We set ourselves up, and in 2 years, we were financially, this was a government institution, we were financially independent. And at the end of my 9-year term, the staff were earning more than 50% analogous institutions in the country. That is productivity and prosperity for all. Recently, I was actually a director of a bank, and because of corruption and misdemeanors and the rest, the institution was almost bankrupt. We re-engineered it. Literally, we sacked the CEO and all the managers, put some people there who focused on getting the institution working. Within 4 years, it is one of the best performing institutions, and staff, as we say it, my friend of mine, Kisanga from Tanzania, you will be laughing all the way to the bank because they get significant salary increase despite the challenges in Ghana. They get 13th month, they get their bonus and the rest, and they get salary increases of about 25% per annum. That is productivity for all. Of course, the shareholders whom as directors we represent are the happier one, because at the end of the day, it's their institution. This is what I'm talking about: prosperity for all, not for a few, privilege to steal or to get more than their lion's share. Now, what does this mean to an individual? And today, my emphasis will not be on companies and the nation, but the individual, because I'm tired of people always complaining of poverty, of employers not paying them enough. Of course, the laborer deserves their wage. We'll talk about that later. But let me tell you, the ordinary wage earner in Ghana in the foreseeable future is not going to be paid enough to be well off. Period. And that is what I would like to spend time. You see your salary as a seed and how to grow it. Of course, you must ensure that you are properly paid. But look, the government has just announced a 10% increase in public sector salaries, which is all that I believe the government can afford under the circumstances. But what is 10% going to make for someone who is earning 500 Ghana cedis, even 1,000 cedis? We must learn to create wealth through productivity, and then we insist that everyone, worker as well as manager and shareholder, should get their due. Now, I'm talking to you as an individual today, not as a member of a corporation or, in that regard, even a citizen. And for the individual listening to me, I'm saying that you must embrace the paradigm of productivity. In biblical terms, for those who are religiously inclined, to be fruitful, multiply, enjoy, and improve your material well-being, leaving hopefully a legacy for your children's children. I'm going to share a few principles for those who want to adopt the productivity paradigm as individuals to change their world, change their family status, of course, over time, not tomorrow. Because I would say that only African politicians, armed robbers, and now the polluters they call themselves galamseyers, get rich overnight. No. The productivity paradigm requires a systematic accumulation and building up of your investments. Let me quickly go through, and I hope I'll be able to make it within the time, because I don't want to spend more than today on the individual. Tomorrow, next week, we will go on to companies, and then the following one to the nation at large or as a whole. First, the attitude. Your attitude is almost everything. Unless you accept responsibility that you are going to take the bull by the horn and that your productivity largely depends upon you. Yes, employer may help you to acquire skills, but at the end of the day, it is your attitude. If you want to adopt the attitude, the study was supposed to have been done at the Harvard University that looked at attitude, knowledge, and skills, and it's been proven at all levels. Of course, monkeys fight by sizes: laborer, teacher, professor, entrepreneur. In terms of well-being and riches are different level, but at every level, your attitude, your worldview, positive thinking accounts for 85% of your success, and knowledge and skills 15%. Because when you have the right attitude, the sky is literally the limit. That is why I thank my teacher Moa from Nkonya Urapon. When at the age of 15, I asked him, is there any hope for someone who is poor and therefore will not go to secondary school? That was the days before free secondary school. And he says, yes, you can. And he says, how? I asked how. He says, you can study on your own. And boy, the first time I got 10 Ghana cedis, then £5, was to ask, where can I do other correspondence course? And that was the beginning of, by God's grace, academically, what I am today. It is important for you to have the positive attitude and know that the productivity paradigm works for rich and poor. That comes to a related one, is having a productivity mindset, growth mindset. Many people don't have the growth mindset, in the sense that they think that holding on to traditions is the way forward. It says they not sankofa, even when they make progress going back. It says, that's me holding on to the tradition of their fathers. There is a way in which each one of us need our culture and some stability. But unless you have a growth mindset, you are not going to make much of yourself. And the productivity paradigm requires a growth mindset. That leads me to a third element. If you are going to be on the ray of productivity, is having core values. And here, of course, honesty, transparency, love, and other things. I'm talking about your values regarding work. Simply your work ethic. I'm fed up with people who will not show up at work. They will not put in the day's energy for the day's pay, want to have every opportunity to leave as early as possible. And let me tell you, poor work ethic is more innovating. It takes more from you than positive work ethic. You learn and you become acculturated. You form a habit of being at work on time, doing your best, finishing your work on time. Because if you don't finish work which you can do in the day and you put it down, unfortunately, when you come the next day, you have to go to the beginning and revise where you were, and know how you stopped and what you are to add to it. Work ethic is very important. And I had an appellation with a friend of mine, Mr. Marbell. We say, in other words, hard work does not kill. Please, your work ethic, tenacity, work excellence mentality, you finish. You take pride in the work of your hands, the work of your brains. And where you even are handicapped, you seek help. For example, I'm a writer, written over 40 books, and yet I know that I'm a bit English challenge. I didn't go to Achimota, so pardon me, I went to school in Brofiedru, which means English is heavy. But my work will not go out until I've gotten the right people to help me to edit it. Why? Because I want to be proud of the work of my hands. And this ownership, you are a craftsman. Look, The Bible says that if you're a craftsperson and you know how to do good work, you will be in the service of the king. And it's true. His Excellency President Mahama wears shirts. I mean, you saw the one he was in the inauguration. Somebody sat down and said that I'm going to suit the president in such a way that when he stands there, my name will be forever attached to it. The same way I like the first inaugural dressing of President Akufo-Addo. The kente he wore was exceptional. Someone sent me another one. I thought that he was trying to make me look like a president. Let us be proud of our work, the work of our hands, and establish values that go with that. So, attitude is almost everything. Growth mindset is needed. You must have your core values. And fourthly, whatever your hands finds to do, the Bible says in Colossians 3:23, do it as serving the Lord. Hard work, not slothfulness, anything goes. No. If you're a driver, your driving will be such that somebody sits in your boss may give a lift to somebody. When he says, young man, where did you learn how to drive? And next time you are on your way to a higher level. Please, hard work, tenacity, excellence mentality. That is the way for individual progress. And it doesn't matter what level that you are. About 10 years ago or a little bit, I had gotten a new Pajero. I saw somebody by the roadside. I said, he was one of those leather works. I said, can you just put something to line my boots so that, as usual, when I go to my village and get my plantains, the car will not be soiled. And the way he did it, we became friends. And as a result, he was encouraged. And today, he has 2 degrees and has a business definitely getting richer than me. The work of his hands, just in a matter of 10 minutes. Now, he is a proud foster son of mine. And I'm so proud of him. I wouldn't mention his name because he was shy and feel embarrassed. That's why. But if you want to have all your chairs upholstered to the standard of the best you can get from China or Turkey, let me know, and I will let him come and do it for you, and you will be the better off. The fifth element in individuals who have adopted the productivity paradigm is that always they are working towards a future target. Yes, they are making a farm, and their aim is that by the end of the year, I'm going to produce a ton per acre, and then starts looking for what it takes, looking for chicken droppings, possibly asking somebody to lend them money to drill a borehole in the midst of their 1 acre so that they will irrigate it. Always they are purpose driven. They have clear mission, vision, and goals. If you don't have a goal, what you are working towards, everything is okay. At this moment, I am in my 77th year, but I am in the 7th year of my, I think, 3rd or 4th 10-year plan. Why? Because I work towards setting goals every 10 years. And God being my helper, I've always exceeded my targets. Productivity paradigm requires working towards clear future vision and goals. Let me move on because I want to finish as usual so that I can go on to the corporate one next week. Those who adopt the productivity paradigm soon discover something, that no matter how good you are limited. You need to work with others. Synergy. And you don't go into relationship with others to cheat them. In the Ghana, mechow. I don't know how you say mechow in English, but always to outwit Probably that's the closest English way to outwit the person. No, it is a win-win. In other words, how can we bring our resources, our expertise, our skills, so that together we will achieve more than if we did individually, and each one of them will be better off. I thank God for my colleagues, my chauffeur, my assistants, the cook in the house, all of them, the gardeners. Without them, if I were to take care of all these things, I will not be able to do even 1/3 of what I do. But together, we all win. And of course, you make sure that everybody gets their share pro rata. Not that, I don't believe in communism equality. It is according to your productivity, because I believe in the productivity paradigm. So you learn win-win cooperative approach to synergize with others, not to exploit them, but together your aim is that everyone becomes better. Seventh, I have found that you are able to produce better when you have simplified your life. What do I mean by simplified your life? Some people have asked me, Stephen, you are 77 years, you are doing too much. You are lecturing here, you are leading a 2,000 student, you have organization has 352 employees, you serve on 10 boards and everything else. I said, no, I'm having the ball of my life because my life is simple. Why? Because I have only one organizing principle. What will Jesus have me do? And therefore, I don't go and figure things in every situation. It's almost like having a ball. That's what I mean by simplifying your life. It is what Stephen Covey calls the true north. One principle that allows all what you do to be coherent and meaningful. 8 is what Charles Wesley says. If you are productivity paradigm, means you work as hard as you are to earn as much as you can, save as much as you can, and then invest and share as much as you can produce with others, having met your basic needs. Let me mention 9 and 10, and then later on when I come next week, I can probably look at it before I move on to the corporate one. The 9th one is that you don't just save, but you multiply the seed. One of the things about productivity is that you cannot continue as an individual to work harder and harder and harder. You will burn out and you will die early. But you follow my 10-10-80, at least saving a minimum of 10% of your salary higher if you are able, and then investing it and benefiting from the power of compound interest. In other words, you multiply the seed, not the one you give to the church, but the one you save and multiply. And finally, you live for the long term. In other words, many people think that retirement is the end. I call it just the twilight years. You have to live not only so that you produce and you invest so that you continue multiplying to the day you die, but you leave something for your posterity. And if you're a Christian, you invest in heaven so that you are investing in paradise, eternity. May it happen that as individual, you get out of mediocrity and go on to the productivity paradigm and then grow your wealth and enjoy life, because you are not there to exploit people, but to produce, synergizing with others so that anyone who comes your way becomes better. I am your friend, Emeritus Professor Stephen Adei. Meet me again next week. We'll continue the productivity paradigm. I will just conclude on the individual and go to the corporate level. But I'm always there to meet you on YouTube and, as usual, ZFM 101.9 every Saturday at 9 a.m. And come with me to conclude the productivity paradigm in about 2 weeks' time. And I will tell you what will follow. It may be more exciting. The Lord be with you.